Alright, so today we're going to be changing the oil on a John Deere 4450. I'm about halfway through this oil change actually, and just wanted to go through everything you need since there doesn't really seem to be a good YouTube video out there. So starting with the wrenches, you're going to need 1.25" wrench. That will get your plug off on the bottom. That is this big plug right here. As you can see, there's a little oil running onto the tractor from when I just emptied it out here. You want to get the tractor nice and hot, of course, before you drain the oil. Get it warmed up, then kill it, and then start draining the oil. I usually start by draining the bottom plug first, but a lot of people will start up here and they will drain the filter first and change that. I really like to drain the bottom one first just because I feel like it's going to make less of a mess up here, but probably not. So the only other thing you need is a 9/16 wrench, and that will get this plug out for you right here, and that'll drain your oil filter. I usually use a little coffee can or something to catch all the oil that runs out of here, and then I end up dumping it in my big bucket, which I already did. Eventually, once this oil starts getting lower, it's going to suck to the tractor and it'll just run down the frame, and you can actually catch it out of the bottom hole and the oil filter at the same time. The John Deere oil filter that we use, I lost my box here, is a DZ101880. That is your oil filter number for a John Deere 4450, and I believe it goes on the 4455 as well. I'm not 100% sure about the 4440 or the 4430. And yeah, the only other thing you really need to know is when you swap out this filter, you want to take the rubber gasket in there and apply oil to it before putting the new filter on. Kind of lubes up the gasket, so when you tighten on the filter, better chance you're not going to tear the gasket. Here's the oil filter wrench I use. This is another thing you need, some anti-seize. I put that on this little plug to make sure it comes out easy for me next time. Again, you take this out with a 9/16, and you take this bottom plug out with 1.25". Your oil fill is right here, right next to the fan up front, and that cap should look like this and say torque guard. That is the brand of oil through John Deere. And that brings me to the oil. We always use Rotella 15W40. I'm in Minnesota, of course. That's why the channel's MN Hobby Farmer. That oil is good for the weather up here. I know when you're in 90-degree weather, that's kind of what you want to do. And I think it's good for basically all weather. I think that's pretty much what John Deere recommends. But yeah, so about 5 quarts comes out. Excuse me, 5 gallons comes out. 5 gallons goes in. This is our preferred brand of oil. I'm sure you can use different brands. This is just what my tractor mechanic recommends. And you need, again, 1.25" wrench to take your plug out, a 9/16 to take the little filter plug out to drain your filter, an oil filter wrench, some anti-seize for the plug, and yeah, once you get all that put back together and put the oil plug back in, put your filter plug back in, get the new filter on, you're ready to fill. And that's what I'm going to do next. Alright, one little side note before I fill the tractor here. I usually take something like this and I'll stick a hole in the bucket, similar to like a gas can. Relieves the air pressure in there so the oil flows better. Just a little tip that I didn't want to leave out. It helps it go into the funnel a little smoother, so it's not sitting there chugging out and more likely to spill that way. So put a little hole in the back. It's just like a gas can, and it'll help the oil flow easier, so you're less likely to spill. Alright, so I ended up switching out my funnel. I realized I grabbed the wrong one. I put a longer neck funnel in here. Makes it a little bit easier to fill, gets the funnel sticking out past the tractor so you can get the bucket in there a little bit better. That's what came out of the tractor. You can see I'm about, I don't know, pointer finger length away, so probably, 4 inches away from the bottom of the bucket. So I left the oil in this bucket about the same. So we're gonna fire up the tractor here and check the oil here. Once it flows through the tractor for a little bit, then shut the tractor off, check it, and then see where we're at. and we'll see if we have to add, and hopefully I didn't put in too much. I stopped a little bit short, so I don't think that'll be an issue. So I just fired up the tractor. I waited for the oil pressure gauge to come up a bit, so I knew the oil was cycling through, and I just pulled the stick, and I don't know if you'll be able to see real well, but I'm right at the bottom line there, so I'm a little short on oil. I'll probably just add, you know, another cup or two, and then should be just about right. And yeah, I'll do that now, and yeah, that'll basically complete this oil change. Alright, we're going to fire up the tractor now and check the oil pressure, then go do the final check to see if the oil is at the right level here. Oil pressure looks good. The needle stopped, so we're going to kill it now and go do the final check. Alright, so we are smack dab in the middle. That basically completes this oil change. We're right where we want to be. Please like, subscribe. Let me know if there's anything I left out, but I think that pretty much covers it. Other than me starting in the middle of the oil change, I think this should give everybody a pretty good idea. Thanks for watching.